So, again, welcome to our Modern Holistic Health Epic Fall Detox. And I want to talk to you a little bit about detoxification because let me jump back here before we get into this. Because when you go through our master classes, you get an opportunity to really learn and understand deeper what the most common root causes of a lot of common conditions are. And we teach you that these root causes, typically it's, toxic mold, chemical toxins, right? We've got some heavy metals, we've got those types of things. It actually takes an average of 9 months to get those things out of the body. So you're probably wondering, well, what is this 30-day detox? I've heard you talk all this time about 9 months and why your programs are 12 months long. Why are you doing a 30-day and what can be done in a 30-day detox? So this is what we're going to talk about tonight. While it can take longer to reverse these chronic issues that took you 10, 20, 30 years to actually develop, and it can take some time to reverse those, there are other things in the body that we can change super fast inside of 30 days. And I'm going to show you some of that today. Things like huge drops in cholesterol and triglyceride, huge drops in inflammatory markers in your labs, really big drops in blood glucose. We can drop high liver enzymes super, super fast, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. We've dropped as much as 100 points in liver enzymes. And yes, these people had really inflamed livers in 30 days. And we've got some amazing before and after labs that we can show you. So when it comes to certain things in the body, we can make really quick change. And then other things take a little longer, like hormones, for example. If we're going to do that, we typically won't retest for around 4 months, right? Between 4 and 6 months, we want to give it a chance to, to get those hormone levels up. But other things we can change super fast. So let's just jump in and let's talk about why detox is vital to good mental, physical, and emotional health, because we live in toxic soup, right? You guys know this. How many of you have seen any of my master classes? Raise your hand if you've seen them. Then you know that you've seen the statistics that I show on how toxic the planet is. You can find these statistics online. And our country ranks as one of the top, right? And it also ranks as one of the top for chronic illness. There's no coincidence there, right? And really the reality is that after you get through your really deep 9, 10 months of detox with the gut repair at the end, and you've recovered your health, and you want to maintain health, and you want to slow the aging process, even reverse it, and you want to really focus on your longevity and your vitality, you really need to be detoxing all the time. So throughout the year, I use our flagship product, TCG Activation. So I use this one, and I put this in my electrolytes, in my water every single day, 2 to 4 droppers full every day. And that it's a wonderful binder. It drives minerals into your cells. It's a mitochondrial support. It does a lot of things. But a couple of times a year, I, like Anne and many of our clients now who are doing their wellness now, they really appreciate all the work that they had to do to get their wellness, to get their health back and their vitality. We like to do at least one, if not a couple, of deeper 30-day detoxes each year. And many of us, especially with certain genetic markers that can be tested if you ever want to test, we like to follow that with like 4 to 6 weeks of a little bit of gut work. We just want to give the gut a little love. It's kind of like tilling the garden every year. You got to get in there. You got to do a little bit of work in the garden and get it ready to grow the harvest. It's the same thing with our gut because we get exposed to toxins all the time. But detox is vital to good mental health. It's vital to your emotional health, your physical health. And, when we have people who come to us who have had a history of mental health conditions and symptoms. They've had different issues with their metabolic systems. They've had Hashimoto's or other autoimmune issues, and they want help from us. The first thing that we're talking about is we have to get the toxins out of your body because those are your barriers to healing. Those are your root causes. And so, some people ask, well, do you do like amino acid therapy to help me so I can get off of my medications? Sure, we do. After you get the junk out of your body, after you get the toxins out, because your body will never be able to make its own brain chemistry if it's full of toxins, because toxins block cellular receptor sites. They don't let nutrients in. And without the right nutrients and ingredients, we can't make brain chemistry. We can't make our thyroid hormones. We can't, our systemic engines can't work. And so, the other thing that is important to understand about detox is that you'll never get a good, solid gut repair if you don't first clean out the garbage, right? You can't do it. It's impossible. And so how many of you have been on gut repair for more than a year? I'm just curious if anybody's here tonight who's been on gut repair for more than a year. And have you tried getting off of it? And when you do, your symptoms come back? I'm just wondering, because you shouldn't have to do gut repair. In most instances, 95% of the time, you shouldn't need to do gut repair for more than 2 months in most instances. So if you're wondering why you've been doing it for a year, because that's not something you should have to do all the time. That's a repair phase. If you notice that you have to constantly be working on your gut, or you have to constantly be doing gut repair to feel better with whatever symptoms that you have, it's because you haven't cleaned the toxins out of your body yet. So it's like you're trying to grow a beautiful organic garden in a waste dump. You've got to clean the garbage out. And so doing the detox will help to reduce inflammation. It takes the garbage out so that you can finally fix those GI issues for good. It prevents disease. We have seen so much reversal of autoimmune diseases, and that is one of the biggest parts of reversing autoimmune diseases, doing your detoxification. And it helps you lose weight effectively for the long term. And I'm going to show you some slides to demonstrate that tonight. Now, you may have seen this from some of our other master classes that we have, but I love this slide because it really helps us really understand that toxins are everywhere. Annually in the US, we have over 1.2 billion pounds of toxic chemicals being released into our water and our air. And they're probably underestimating that. That's a lot. And 1938 was the last time that a law was passed addressing chemicals in our personal care products. Isn't that insane? And we see so many people who are really sick, who have high levels of toxins in their body. This also happened with my daughter-in-law with some of the personal care products that they have been using, that's what's causing their infertility. That's what's causing their hormone issues. That's what's causing their thyroid issues. That's what's causing their autoimmune disease or their joint pain, right? And so it's really important for us to understand toxins and for us to read the labels on our products anymore. We can't assume that just because it's sold on the store shelf that our government has protected us, because 1938 was the last time. And do you know how many chemicals have been developed since 1938? And less than 10% of the chemicals being released have any safety regulations whatsoever. That's appalling to me. But what can we do about it? We can do something about it by educating ourselves, educating our children, educating our grandchildren, and learning how to read labels and voting with where we spend our money, right? So let's move on and let's look at this slide. How many of you have seen this one before in one of my master classes? So this shows the most toxic environments on the planet. And you can see here that the darker red that we get, the more toxic the continents are. And look at the United States. It's right up there at the top. It's pretty scary. I'm going to go ahead and skip past this and let's go into what types of symptoms, conditions, and diseases that these toxins are contributing to. Things like, just take a look. Raise your hand if any of these apply to you. If you're on with us tonight, it's likely that all of you have at least one of these that you're working on, or that you're maybe looking for help to work on, but they contribute to pretty much every symptom, condition, and disease that you could think of, from bloating and other joint issues to, from bloating and other gut issues rather, to joint and body pain. We see misdiagnoses of rheumatoid arthritis and other types of arthritis every single day, every day. And how do we know that they were misdiagnoses? Because when they start cleaning up their body and going through our program, their RA mysteriously and miraculously goes away. Their other type of arthritis is gone, right? So what does that tell you? It was a misdiagnosis in the first place. They had massive inflammation accumulating in the joint spaces because of the toxins, right? Things like anxiety and depression, dementia, brain inflammation, right? All types of autoimmune diseases and skin issues. Osteoporosis. Did you know that BPA causes osteoporosis? Look it up online. Don't trust me. Look it up. There are numerous published research studies talking about how BPA leads to osteoporosis, and it explains how that happens. It causes a lot of other issues too, but just giving you an example of how these chemicals can really cause a lot of problems. Now, here are the dangers of these toxic deposits that end up in our body. Because, see, a lot of this stuff cannot come out. There are a few chemicals that have a very short half-life, meaning that they come out of the body relatively quickly on their own. Our bodies are able to clear them, but the majority of these toxins, our bodies are not able to clear. And so that really creates a problem, because you end up with an accumulation of toxins that can lead to short circuits in your nervous system. So central nervous system disorders that can show up in all kinds of ways, from nerve pains to neurodegenerative diseases, to mental health type issues, memory loss. These toxic deposits, these toxins in our body can lead to thyroid disorders, all of the same stuff that we just talked about in the previous slide, right? So it's really important to understand how dangerous these are and how they are contributing to your symptoms, conditions, and diseases. Now, let's get into the weight aspect. How many of you are interested in learning a little bit about something about weight that you may have not known before? Right? All of us do. We all want to know this. And I'm certain that this was one of my problems when I was growing up, because I was pretty active, and I was always a little chunky, right? I was always a little bit chunky. And I ended up doing Weight Watchers when I was in junior high. Then I did Weight Watchers again when I was in high school. And I would drop a little bit of weight, but then it would always come back. How many of you have had those experiences? You tried different diets, and over the years, you'll lose the weight, but then you gain it back plus 5 more pounds. How many of you have had that? That just pisses you off, doesn't it? You're like, what? You know, like, how did that happen? I didn't just gain the weight back. I gained that plus 5 pounds. Then a few years later, you get motivated to do another one, and you end up losing the weight. And then that last 5 pounds is so hard to lose, but you lose it too. And then you eventually gain it back plus another 5. So now you're up 10 pounds up where you previously were when you first started the dieting. This is where this yo-yo diet thing comes into play. And then maybe even you've experienced where you've tried losing weight and nothing's working. You can't even lose the weight. Or you've tried keto and you were doing it perfectly and you only lost a few pounds and then you plateaued. How many of you have noticed that? Well, let me explain to you how this works. So toxicity causes weight gain because our body gets overloaded and it doesn't have natural clearance ability to clear these toxins out. And so our liver will start to create fat cells so that the body can deposit the toxins into the fat cells so that it can encapsulate the toxins and protect the body, because the body's not able to get it out. And if the body can't get it out, what's the next best thing? Well, let's contain the threat. And so your body keeps making more fat, and your body can make fat out of anything. How many of you knew that your body can make fat out of protein? I remember when I learned that, right? So some people think, well, I'm doing keto and I'm gaining weight. How many toxins do you have in your body? Because your body can actually take that protein and turn it into fat cells. It's not taking the fat from the keto diet and turning it into fat. The body doesn't typically turn fat into fat. The body turns carbs and sugars into fat if it can't burn it, but it can also turn muscle into fat. It's a process called gluconeogenesis. And when your body has a ton of toxins and the body needs to contain the threat for survival, it's going to create fat out of nothing. Not really out of nothing, right? But it's going to create fat even out of things it doesn't normally create fat out of. It will find the resources to create fat because it's trying to protect you. And what do we notice on the outside? All we notice is that we're gaining weight and we can't lose it. And we're frustrated and we don't feel good about ourselves. But most of the time, it's a toxicity issue. And this is why when our clients go through the deep 10 months of detox with us, when they're getting all the chemical toxins and the mold and the metals out and all of that, they all lose weight. Every one of them. They all end up losing weight, right? Because they're getting the toxins out and they're not even trying to lose weight. Some of them say, I'm eating more than I was eating before. I'm feeling really great, but I don't understand why I'm losing weight. Well, it's because your body can now go back to its natural metabolic, system, and it's going to go back to its own ideal weight on its own, as long as we get the body back in balance and we pull out all of the barriers to healing. So let me go back and let's talk a little bit about that yo-yo dieting that we were talking about. And let's take a look at this graphic because this really helps. So when you start to diet and you have toxins in your body, which you do, if you've never done our detoxification process, you've got toxins. There's no 30-day detox that's going to get those types of toxins out of your body. But in this illustration, the person on the top left, all of the little red dots are showing toxins. So this person loses weight, they burn fat, and they lose weight, but the impurities and the toxins are still there. But now they're in a higher concentration because you have less body mass, but the same toxins are still there. So the body becomes very stressed and it ends up reacting by making more fat to re-encapsulate the toxins, because it goes, oh, no, we can't do this. We're gonna get really sick. Makes more fat, redeposits the toxins back in the fat, and there you are looking like the person back on the right. So you are, 250 pounds, you lose 50 pounds, you get down to 200, but now the toxins are in higher concentration, your body freaks out, makes more fat to protect you from the toxins. Now you're back up at 250 again. Does that make sense? But when you cleanse and you get the impurities out, the body then can get the nutrients that it needs. It can reset its own metabolic rate, and then you end up having successful and long-term weight loss. Yay, right? And this is something that people out there are not teaching. And this is why I love teaching this class. This is such a good one. Now, detox sets the stage for the long-term weight loss. But how's the most effective way to do it? The most effective ways to detox is to detox the cells, tissues, and organs, right? So we want to detox the blood system. We want to detox the cells. We want to detox the gut, the liver, and the kidneys. And any of you who have been through how many of you raise your hand? How many of you are in our program right now? Raise your hand if you're going through our program. So when you started with month 1 with us, our version of our 30-day spring and fall epic detox is almost identical to what you did in month 1. And why did we do that? Can anyone put into the chat? Does anyone remember what the purpose of the month one detox is for? And can you let me know if anyone is responding?
Let's see. Yes, opening detox pathways to prepare the
Yes.
body for detox. Yes, multiple people got it.
Yes, yes, yes. Now, in that process, you can get a really nice liver cleanse in 30 days. You can get a really nice kidney cleanse in 30 days. You can do a significant amount to clean up the junk in your bloodstream in 30 days. And you can even get some cellular detox in 30 days. You can clean out your GI tract in 30 days because when you stop eating the junk that you've been eating and you give meat a break for just about 7 to 10 days out of the 30 days, you will poop out a lot of stuff. It'll even change. It'll be stinky and smelly because you're kind of cleaning out the pipes and everything's cleaning out. And so you're really preparing all of your detoxification systems, like your liver and your kidneys and your gut. You're cleaning them up and getting them ready to do a deeper detox, right? And so we like to begin our 12-month program clients with a food-based detox in their first 30 days. And then, of course, we like to keep you doing an anti-inflammatory diet throughout your detoxification program, but we lighten up a little bit on the restrictions. But food-based detox is super, super powerful. It supports your body's natural metabolic detoxification systems. It's easy to do. You'll just do 1 to 3 shakes every day, in addition to a very healthy eating regimen that we have you do for 30 days. Thank you, Diane, for joining us. We'll see you soon. And it also is giving your body a high dose shot of nutrition to help support your body for all 3 phases of detoxification. So what are the 3 phases of detoxification? So phase 1 is opening the drainage pathways. And don't forget that what we're getting ready to do in the fall detox, it is basically a phase 1, but it's not just opening the drainage pathways. You drop your cholesterol. You can drop some inflammatory weight. You can drop your blood glucose. You can drop your liver enzymes really fast if they've been high. You can really make some really big changes in your markers on your kidneys if your kidneys have been stressed. So basically, getting all of those detoxification systems up and running, just that alone makes you feel good, even if you still have toxins in your body. For most people, this just really, really makes a huge difference. And that's why we have so many people that come back over and over to do this detoxification with us. Now, our clients who stay with us to go through our 12-month program, they end up going into phase 2, and they stay into phase 2 detoxification for about 8 months with us. And that is where we are getting rid of the BPA and the glyphosates and all of the different toxins, the chemical toxins, the mold toxicity, the heavy metal toxicity, all of that. That part takes a little bit longer. But phase 1 opens the drainage pathways. Phase 2 goes into deeper detoxification. And we can do a little bit of that during the month 1. We actually do a little bit of that, but just remember, it actually takes longer than 30 days to get all of those toxins out of the body. And then phase 3 is where your body will convert a lot of these toxins into water-soluble substances that can easily be excreted out of the body. And so that's another reason why we want to really support the detoxification systems. So what can we expect with the 30-day Epic Detox? Well, it's going to help reduce systemic and joint inflammation very quickly. It can reduce cholesterol, as I mentioned earlier, and stabilize the blood glucose and A1C levels, stabilize the liver enzymes, and really increase your energy, your libido, help you have better sleep, softer skin, glowing skin, better stools, And a lot of people report feeling euphoric by the time they get to about day 8 to 10, because it really can make you feel good. Now, remember, if you've been sick for a long time, you may not notice big changes with the 30-day, right? And so, but if you're wondering, like, if you haven't done anything yet to start your process of working on yourself, this is a great starting point. Don't necessarily expect that it's going to make a complete 180-degree turnaround in your health if you're super sick, because it does take a little bit more time for that. But we have seen many people who are pretty sick who after 1 month are like, whoa, like I've had some substantial improvements in some of my symptoms just from changing my diet and adding some of these binders and adding some of these high density nutrients in my body. And we're like, well, yeah, you're just giving your body what it needs and it responds. So let's take a look at a couple of really inspiring case studies. So this one is Juliana, a 62-year-old female. And this was just last year. She did our detox in January. And take a look here. The previous marker, so she has the blood labs that she did in February, on February 9th. And then she redid them again at the end of March. And look at the crazy, amazing changes that she had. She dropped 80 points in her cholesterol. She went from 249 to 169. How many of you, raise your hand, how many of you didn't even know that that was possible? Put a 1 in the chat if you didn't know that that was possible. Put a 1 in the chat if you didn't know that you could lose 80 points in your cholesterol in 30 days without drugs. Right? Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And the triglycerides, she had a 57-point drop in triglycerides. She had a 65-point drop in her LDL. And she had a 19-point drop in her blood glucose. That is amazing. She also dropped 1/10 of a point in her hemoglobin A1C, which may not seem like a lot. That's a lot in 30 days. How many of you are impressed with that type of a response in 30 days, of what you can do in just 30 days? Because a lot of people talk about detoxes and they tout their detox, but how many of them are showing portfolios like this? There's no one else out there showing this. So who are you going to trust? Right? Who are you going to trust? Are you going to trust the people that, yes, Melanie's excited to see her new numbers. Yay, Melanie. Did some new ones come in since we talked? But yes, like this is absolutely incredible. This can do amazing things with a lot of the systemic engines in your body in a short period of time. Let's take a look at Diane, 83-year-old female client of ours. And she had her after labs done. Let me see here. You can see here, her before was February 23rd. And the previous, I'm sorry. The before was in December. And then the after was in February. So she had come to see us around the December timeframe, but a lot of people who come to us in December actually start in January, because it's hard to start during the holidays when you've got all your family coming over and you've got the holidays and all the things. So she got the blood work done, and we got to get a baseline. And then when she finished her first 30 days of her bigger, 10-month detox, this is what we saw after we retested her blood after the first 30 days. She had an 8-point drop in her blood glucose, 21-point drop in her total cholesterol, 13-point drop in her triglycerides, and an 18-point drop in her LDLs. This is really big stuff. This is really big stuff. And here's another one. This is a client of ours, Eileen, a 63-year-old female, who dropped 128 points in her blood glucose That is absolutely incredible. In a month, she went from 248 fasting blood glucose, which is scary. You do not want to be that high. She went from 248 down to 120, almost back into a healthy range. Yay, right? That's amazing. Her hemoglobin A1C, which is one of the markers we look at for type 2 diabetes, you want to see that 5.5 or less. I think they've gone up to 5.7 now, right? And it's 5.7. But she started out at 11.1. And after 30 days, she went down to 9.2. That's a huge drop. 3 points in your hemoglobin A1C in 30 days is massive. And by July, she was down to 7.5. And I didn't have time to go in and find more updated labs so that we could see where she's at more currently. In addition to that, she had, and I think I wrote something wrong in the dropped the A1C, because she actually dropped many points in that. She dropped 75 points in cholesterol, 83 points in her triglycerides, 61 points in her LDL, and her homocysteine also dropped 1.3 points. And those are really significant changes. Now let's talk about drinking water. Put a 1 in the chat if you don't like drinking water. Good. Don't be embarrassed. Put a 1 in the chat. I used to be one of those. I used to not like water. I hated it. I also grew up in the Houston, Texas area where the water smells terrible. So who would want to drink it? It's gross, right? And it smells even worse now than it used to when I was a kid. So water is super important. It is essential to who you are. It's a part of your ecosystem. We're made up mostly of water. Water is our friend. Where's my water? I actually have 2 of them. That's funny. I have 2 waters right now sitting at my desk. So where do the numbers come from? Melanie's asking where the numbers come from. These are before and after blood labs that we were showing. So we were showing blood labs before and after so that you can see what kind of a change and what significant of a change you can make in certain organ systems within a short period of time, like 30 days. So drinking fluids is super important. But we want to make sure that we're drinking purified water. How many of you have been to our website and gone to our blog page and read our different articles that we've written over the years? Put a 1 in there if you have. Only a couple, maybe 1 or 2. I encourage you, I challenge you to go to our website at modernholistichealth.com and check out our articles and our blogs, because we put some really relevant articles together for you. And how many of you remember what, I think it was last year, was it? Or maybe a year and a half ago, when it was all over the news, they were talking about PFAS, the forever chemical. Raise your hand if you remember about that. It was all over the news, all over mainstream media. PFAS, the forever chemical. Everybody was freaking out because it doesn't just go away. Well, they were talking about that a year and a half ago. I wrote about that 3 years ago. I wrote about it like 3 years ago. I'm way ahead of mainstream media. So check out the articles, because if you want education, we have a lot of free resources on our YouTube page at Modern Holistic Health, our website at Modern Holistic Health. So many free resources for you. And so I have a couple of articles on water and our toxic water systems. I rank the top 10 most toxic states for municipal water systems. Go find that article and read it. But water's super important. But drinking purified water is the most important. We've got to drink purified water because our municipal water systems are all tainted. They're full of chemicals, hormones, metals, and other kinds of toxins. Even medications have been found in the municipal water systems. That's kind of scary. And even our well water systems are contaminated. So when I was a kid, well water was cleaner back then. It's not anymore. Our well water is contaminated as well. And so we really need to use water filtration systems. Now, I'm always working with our partners. Whenever I find good water filtration systems, good air cleaners, whenever I find good products, I work with them and negotiate with them to get you really good discounts. So if you're not seeing those come through in emails, maybe you're not on our email list, maybe you're not checking your emails, but we send out specials that our people that we know and people that we love and trust, we send out specials for you. And in our monthly newsletter that goes out usually between the 5th and the 8th of each month, our Crusaders for Health newsletter, if you missed any of those, that's on our website too. And it's very easy to find our newsletters on our website. Go and check those out, because I work hard on curating deals for you guys all the time. And we are always having deals on Air Doctors. In fact, if any of you want to get a really good discount on the Air Doctor tonight, pop it into the chat, and Aaron and Tara can grab the link for the Air Doctor and pop that in for you. Thank you, Tara, for popping in the Berkey water filter. And we have the, I really like the Aqua True also. So get the link for that. Let me tell you why I like the Aqua True. It's more modern looking. It's more sleek. It's not as tall. The Berkey is this tall stainless steel thing that just, I can't stand it on my countertop. Like, I actually use it. And I use it in my RV, and I am ordering an Aqua True because it's just more slender. It's white, so it matches my kitchen. I'm kind of one of those, right? Like, kitchen has to be perfect. Like, I don't go crazy with that, but I like it super clean. And I don't like the big stainless steel tower of the Berkey. And so the Aqua True is a really, really nice one also that you can get. And Laurie, yes, Tara will get you the Air Doctor info put into the chat for you. So drinking purified water is super important. It keeps your cells hydrated. It helps your body to what? Detox and clean. And it's the biggest, dehydration is the biggest reason why people cannot go to the bathroom and why they have constipation. Right. And so, most of us are chronically dehydrated. So it's really important to drink your water, drink it in glass or stainless steel. I did not do that on purpose for tonight. I don't know how I ended up with both my water bottles here in front of me, but yeah, so you want to be sure that you're drinking a lot of water. Drinking small cups, I don't believe is effective, because we get busy during the day. And then, oftentimes we don't drink enough. But if you have something that's measured, like this is a 32-ounce stainless steel water bottle, I know that if I drink 3 of these a day, I've gotten plenty of water, right? I've gotten over 90 ounces of water. And so I'm staying hydrated. Plus, when I use the TCG activation, this drives more water into the cells, and it helps drive toxins out of the cells. And so it's a really easy way to continuously be detoxing throughout the year so that we don't accumulate toxins during the year, because unless we live in a bubble, we can't avoid them completely. And then next is an anti-inflammatory diet. So it's so important to do an anti-inflammatory diet. Food is your medicine. And at Modern Holistic Health, when you work with us and go through our programs, we teach you how to use food as medicine. And when we do our first 30 days, we encourage you. You don't have to do it, but we encourage you, if you can go the first 7 to 10 days without meat, without any kind of animal protein, then it's really going to allow you to very quickly clean your body out. Now, you may be wondering, but what am I going to eat? Well, you'll do veggies, you'll do fruits, you can do some quinoa, sweet potatoes, certain things for starches that are not corn and not gluten, right? And then you'll get also added protein from your detox shake. And you can do 1 of those minimum, and you can do up to 3 of those a day. So if we're going really hardcore, like Ann and I, if we go hardcore with our detox, we might do 2 shakes a day and then just have dinner. So we know we're still getting enough protein and enough nutrients during the day. It makes it super easy because we don't have to do a whole lot of meal prep. But it also ensures that we're sticking to really using food as medicine. And so when we make that drastic change, it gives our digestive system a break. And when we can give our digestive system a break and just eat, lightly steamed and other cooked and sauteed veggies, which makes it very easy for the digestive system. When we can do that along with the fruit, and then or maybe like the fruit that's going into your smoothie, it just imagine what a cleansing your body's getting. Now, this isn't necessarily the right diet to do all the time for all your life, but when you learn how to use food as medicine, then you can appreciate these types of changes that we ask you to do in the first 30 days in particular. And so we want to stay off of corn, dairy, gluten, sugar, and corn, dairy, wheat/gluten, sugar, and soy. So we definitely want to stay off of those. We used to be more strict with the nightshades. But Anne, can you talk about that? Have we have kind of loosened up a little bit on that. Now, if some people are really, really sick and super inflamed, it's still a better idea to kind of just avoid the nightshades for a while. But can you go ahead and kind of jump in and give me a little bit of your take on that?
Yeah, for someone doing this cleanse for the very first time or just starting like a longer detox, whether with us or on your own or with someone else, I do like to recommend taking nightshades out for at least 30 days. So I definitely recommend taking them out for this 30-day cleanse. But a lot of people then can add them back after 30 days, and you'll notice pretty quickly if nightshades are a problem for you. So if you do react to nightshades, a lot of people will have joint pain. They'll have just noticeable inflammation, maybe in their hands or their feet or other muscles or joints of the body. So you may very well notice after having those out for 30 days whether or not they're a problem for you. So I like to tell people just to experiment and see.
Exactly.
So Wendy, to answer real quick, Wendy's asking what's a nightshade. So nightshades are like peppers, eggplant, tomatoes, white potatoes, and there's a couple of other foods that kind of fall into that category.
Perfect. And then, so to help guide you on these anti-inflammatory foods and give you ideas on what to eat during the 30 days, when you do our program with us, our 30-day detox, we've got a lot of goodies that we're including for you. Right here, you can see that we are including our anti-inflammatory detox ebook that's going to help guide you on the foods to stay away from versus the foods that you can eat. And we've got a few recipes in there for you too that are super, super yummy. They're our recipes that Anne and I put together. And then we have, in addition, we've got 30 inflammation reducing superfoods that you can read about. And also 39 inflammation reducing smoothies because it's fun to mix it up. Doing the same smoothie for 30 days can get old really fast, right? So we want to make it fun. There's all kinds of fun things that you can do with your smoothies. We've even had people that have done in the fall, they'll do the pumpkin spice smoothie. So that can be fun. You'll want to go with the vanilla detox shake, not the chocolate, if you're going to do that. And you can, you can do all kinds of fun stuff with it. You can do ones that have veggies in them. Just all kinds of fun stuff. So we're including these different guides to help you because the food really is the most important part of this. Adding the detox shake and the supplements that we add to it makes it go even more effective. It's like 10x's the effectiveness of it because, by shortening the amount of time. So you can do this with food alone. It's going to take longer though, maybe 3 months, but we can shorten the amount of time of what we can do. Like in the case studies that I showed you, we can shorten that by adding some really good supplementation to the changes in the food. Now, it's really important for us to also do some exercise and move our body. Definitely want to get out and move it. And your lymphatic system is going to want to detox as well on this. And movement is the only way that your body can pump out a lot of the toxins. You got to move that body. It also helps mobilize the fat stores as your body starts to release some fat. And your body may release some fat during this. It's mostly inflammatory weight. But as you go through the longer detoxification process with us, if you're going through our program, your body will start to mobilize and utilize the fat. And movement is very, very important for your body to be, for your lymphatic system to be able to then get that fat out of the body. Now, here is the detox kit. I saw some people asking about it. The detox kit consists of the Veg E Detox Cleanse and the Advanced Liver Gallbladder Detox. That's what the GB stands for. We want to do some liver support, liver and gallbladder support, right? When we're doing this. And then our TCG activation that's going to help bind to any toxins. It's going to help flood your body full of hydration. You got to drink the water with it for that to work, right? It's going to put more minerals into your body, help take toxins out, support your mitochondria. It actually helps seal the leaky gut junctions. If you have leaky gut, it helps with that too. And a few other things. And then the MCM detox. And we have just reformulated it, and it came back in this week. Very, very excited because previous to us designing this particular supplement, did you know that it took 5 different supplements to make what is now in one bottle of MCM Detox? 5 different supplements, and one of the supplements alone is over $100. That's the pectin fiber. So you were spending around $300 just to get what is now in the MCM Detox Plus for about, $90, or something right around there. Yeah, I mean, you were spending well over $300 just to get what's inside of that now. So one of our missions at Bio1 Sciences is to make better supplements based off of our data that we've collected, our case studies. So we know that it's proven and we know that it works, and to bring the cost down and to bring the number of supplements you have to take down, because it's ridiculous when you have to take 20 or 30 bottles of supplements. Nobody can do that. That's not sustainable. I mean, we can do it if we have to for a little while, but it's not sustainable and it's super expensive. And so our mission is to provide the best supplements with case studies to back up their efficacy and to make them more affordable. So there you go. That is what the package looks like. It's normally $397. And if you want to do this detox with us, it is on sale for $357. And this is you'll want to substitute your coffee. We talk about that in the detox ebook. We talk about the substitutions that you can do. We want to get you off of coffee for those 30 days. And the protocol is pretty simple. You do 1 shake a day plus the healthy eating, and you take your supplements as such. And if you do the program with us, we've got all this for you, plus weekly and daily support. Like, we've got a bunch of little other goodies I'm going to go over with you here in just a minute. And you can do more shakes if you want, the way that Ann and I typically do it. You can do more if you want to add more calories or to replace some of your meals. You can do that as well. Oh, Melanie is saying, for anyone who is new, who hasn't started yet, I was a nervous starter. Please don't be. I was worried about the reactions, etc. And I have to say, I wish I had started sooner, but I'm glad that I'm in month 5 now. I can't recommend it enough. Thank you so much, Melanie. Thank you for that. I appreciate it, honey. We love you so much. You're doing so well. So this is the other thing that we want to offer you as a little gift, a discount on your blood work. Whether you're working with us or not, if you have not ordered your blood work yet this year, do it. order it. And if you want to do before and after comparisons, this is how you do it. You order your functional blood panel before you start your detox. So you order it now. And then I have a recorded class that you get for free that teaches you the basics on interpretation. And if you see things high, like your liver markers, like your liver enzymes are high, or your cholesterol was high, or your blood sugar was high, or your kidney was, your markers in your kidney were high, or your inflammatory markers were high, then you can either choose to retest just those markers after 30 days, or you can just retest the entire panel after 30 days. Depends on how many things come back, that look out of range. And so if you want to do that, we're going to be sending out, when we send you the recording of this class that we're doing on the detox, we will also send you the PDF version of the presentation, and you can click on these links. So you'll be able to click on this link if you want to order your blood work, right? Or you can email our office, but don't worry if you don't have this right now. We're going to send it to you when we send out our follow-up. We always send out a follow-up email with the recording at the latest by the next day. And I'll be sure to send a PDF of these slides so that you can click on these links. Let's see. And what else are we offering? We're coming to the end, guys, coming to the end. You're going to receive weekly and daily support. So I actually created a beautiful online program that takes you step by step, gives you encouragement, and I've included emails that get sent out to you every few days, sometimes daily, to give you that added support, to keep you going. And I've got a community chat inside of the program. So those of you who are already working with us, you know what I say when I say the online program, but this is a separate one that's just for the 30-day epic fall and spring detox. And so you're going to get added support in there. You'll see all of the same links for these detox ebooks and the smoothie ebook. You'll see your protocols in there. You'll get an assessment form to fill out before and after. It's a toxicity assessment form to fill out before and after. And you'll get the link if you want to order the labs. You'll get all of that. Yes, we're super excited to have you joining us. And all you need to do is just click on this link here, and this gets you registered for the detox and gets you into the 30-day program. When you do the detox, the program is free, so you're only having to pay for your supplements. All the program content, all the added ebooks, the recipe books, everything else, we're giving it to you. And again, we can grab the link. Oh, see, I don't think I can grab the link from here. I don't think I can. Let me see if this works. No, it's not working. Whoops. Let me see if I don't know what I just did. Hold on just a second. Oh, here we go. I did something to grab the link. Let's see if I can grab it for you. I don't know if this is going to work, but let's see. Well, we'll send it to you in the email, like I mentioned. So let's see if that works. That's kind of long. I'm not sure if that's the right one. But thank you for joining us. I am just super excited, super honored, super thrilled to have you here with us today to learn a little bit about what can be done in 30 days realistically, and then what it takes longer, and then what you need to do longer detoxes for, and so that you can kind of understand the difference. And I hope that you join us. How many of you, put a 1 in the chat, how many of you want to join us for this detox? And just so you know, if any of you are in our program and you're already past month 1, but you want to add the shakes back in, In other words, basically for you, you would just add the shakes back in, and that'll give you that added boost, the added nutrition. You can reduce your caloric intake because you'll be getting the added proteins and everything that you need in the shake. And just kind of just trim up a little bit, get your skin glowing, all the things, right? You can totally do that. We have so many of our clients ask us, well, I'm in the program, I'm in month 5 right now, or I'm in month 8 right now. Can I do this? Of course you can. And for you, there's not going to be much of a change from what you're already doing. Just adding that back in, right? Just adding the protein shake, which I actually did that this morning. That's like a extra calories for us. So I don't like to eat breakfast, but I know I need the additional calories. And I've been doing more exercise lately too. So I definitely need the more calories, but it's hard to eat. I think Melanie, you had told me that too, right? Kind of hard to eat first thing. So I am doing the protein shakes because it's easy. I can just drink it. Right. And so any of you can do that at any time. Does anyone have any questions before we go? I want to give Anne and Aaron and Tara a chance to jump in and help me field some of these questions. If you guys have any, you can put them in the Q&A or in the webinar chat.
We've had a couple that have come up that have been pretty easy that we've answered already. We did have a couple of current clients ask, should they add this protocol on top of what they're already doing? And so you've already answered that, but I'll just, for those who may have missed what Dr. V just said, if you're already like beyond month 1 and you're in our program, like you're in month 3 or 4 or whatever it is, just add the shakes back in. You're already doing a lot of the other support with your protocol, but add the shakes back in. So we did have several people who asked that. And then someone's asking, after 30 days, do we continue with this protocol or do we just do the protein shakes? Like, what do they do after that 30 days?
You want to talk to them about that?
Yeah.
Like just reintroducing foods or whatever they're going to do.
Yeah. So it kind of depends on, well, what's your goal? If that first 30 days, your goal was just to do this reset, if you're already at a pretty good baseline with your health, I mean, that's how Dr. V and I use this now, right? Because we've done the big bulk of our physical healing already. So we use this 30 days as like a reset a couple of times a year. So after this 30 days, it kind of depends on, well, what's your goal? If you're just using this as a reset, then yes, like Dr. V said, just slowly start adding back in some of the foods that you cut out, paying attention to maybe what doesn't feel so well. So do I need to keep that out permanently? Get really specific with how you feel with the food you add back in. And then know that you can keep in the protein shakes. Those can be really great for maintenance, ongoing, to do either one a day or a couple times a week, or just whenever you don't feel like cooking a meal, doing a protein shake. But if you have other things that you need to work on, if you have deeper issues, if you have some sort of diagnosis or some major symptoms, build on this 30 days, work with our team, get on our longer detox, and let's do something beyond the 30 days for you. So you have several different options depending on what your goals are. Dr. V, what do we think of coffee enemas? Someone asked about coffee enemas and about colon hydrotherapy.
We love coffee enemas at Modern Holistic Health. We think they're awesome. In fact, I have not just a fan of coffee enemas, but just enemas in general. There are, once you become more of an enema, a seasoned enema user or enema expert, you'll learn that there are a lot of things that you can put into your enema that can really help. I use TCG in my enema. I've actually used that multiple times. You can use glutathione in your enema. Like there are different things that you can use. Coffee enemas are amazing. We teach about it in our 12-month program because coffee enemas, how many of you put a 1 in the chat if you want to know specifically what a coffee enema does versus just a regular enema? Put a 1 in the chat if you don't know and you want to know. Yes. Okay. So the coffee enema gets your liver to produce more glutathione. So glutathione is your body's most powerful antioxidant, meaning garbage picker-upper, and it's the body's second most powerful anti-inflammatory. and your body makes glutathione. But there can be a couple of reasons why we might be deficient in glutathione, where we don't have enough of it. Number one, because we have a huge toxic load in our body, and our body cannot make enough to keep up with the toxins and all the collateral damage that's being done from the toxins. And number two, sometimes we've got some genetic mutations that make our body less able to produce optimal amounts of glutathione. And you combine that gene, if it's malexpressing, with a toxic load, and that can cause a problem. And so what can we do to like signal the liver, hey, make more, give me a little bit extra glutathione? Well, we can do that with a coffee enema. So what happens is when you do first of all, you need to be very, very, very well hydrated before you do a coffee enema, okay? Number two, even people who are sensitive to caffeine, coffee enemas typically do not cause an issue as long as you're well hydrated. If you ever feel like you got amped up after doing a coffee enema, it's because you were dehydrated, right? Starting out. So you need to be very well hydrated. When you do the coffee enema, and the coffee starts to travel up into the bowel, it will at one point, it will then trigger the liver to actually squirt out like more glutathione. And that's the benefit of the coffee enema, is because it's going to get your liver to make more glutathione. And then the Coleman hydrotherapy, huge fan of that. I think it's really awesome. I've experienced it myself. When I had a brick and mortar back in Austin, I had found a couple of really great colon hydrotherapist, and I would occasionally refer some of our clients there because they just had such extreme gut issues with so much constipation that I knew that their intestines were just super, super clogged. And sometimes, so anyways, yes, definitely a big fan of that.
Wendy's asking why no coffee. So a couple reasons, Wendy. First of all, we love coffee, right? I love coffee. I'm a coffee drinker. So is Dr. V. But when we're cleansing, we do no coffee for a couple of reasons. One, it's very acidic. And so it can really mess with the gut bacteria. One of the things we're trying to do on this cleanse is to kind of reset your microbiome and give a lot of really good stuff to your flora. And coffee can kind of counterbalance that, right? It can be really acidic and it can do some damage to the gut, especially if you're drinking a lot of coffee. Coffee can also be really toxic. Coffee can have mycotoxins, glyphosate, all sorts of other types of toxins. And so, if you're not drinking a really good high quality coffee, that can be a problem. And then the caffeine can be an issue for some people when it comes to their adrenal function, thyroid function. And so our goal here is to really do a reset. And so one of the best ways we can do that is also doing a coffee and a caffeine reset. It's a good idea to follow that. Dr. V, what do you think of ozone? Someone's asking about ozone, specifically ozone generators for home when you're inserting ozone through the rectum. I had a client today talking about the colon therapy with ozone, which I think ozone.
Yeah. There's so many benefits to it. You just want to make sure that you know what you're doing, right? Because if you don't, then you can end up hurting yourself. So I think, making sure that you've taken some classes, or that you're doing it, under the care of someone who knows what they're doing so that you can really learn how to do it. I think that that's great.
Awesome. Let me see. I don't see any other questions.
I see someone's asking about the favorite infrared. Sunlight. Oh, yeah. Sunlighten is a really good one. And, I was first introduced to that. I was first introduced to Sunlighten when I went to my first Paleo FX event a few years ago, and they were there as a vendor. And then a lot of my friends use Sunlighten. And I've gotten in their Sunlighten saunas and I've used them. I really like them. If I didn't move so much, I would have one myself. But any of you who know me know I'm very nomadic. So like every year to year and a half, I'm living in a different state, chasing cooler weather. So, but the Sunlighten infrared saunas are awesome. And as a matter of fact, in one of the articles that I wrote for this month's newsletter, for next month's newsletter in October that comes out on October 8th, we've got a special discount on the different sunlight and saunas, and they have a new one that's portable. And so you're probably wondering, what does a portable one look like? It looks kind of like a massage bed. And then it's got like this little tent over it. And you get into the massage bed under the little tent, and your head sticks out. And so that's super cool. So there are smaller ones now. Simple red light therapy can be really, really beneficial as well. You can get the small little red light therapy pads. That's what I use because I'm very nomadic and traveling around all the time. So I use the red light therapy pads. And last night I was doing my meditation with my brain tap, that thing right there. And I was laying in bed doing the meditation. And then I had my red light over my face like this. So, because I'm like tightening my skin, working on my face skin, because we all want to look good, right? And I really notice a difference with it. It tightens up the skin, especially like right here. Been getting loose under my chin, and I notice that it tightens it up when I use the red light. Super, super neat.
I got to get me one of those. Yeah, we got a lot of questions about some other things here in the chat. So what do we think of castor oil packs? Love them. We love Queen of the Thrones. She has a really great liver pack, plus a thyroid pack. She has an eye pack. Tara, I think we have a link for them. If you want to put that, you can get a great discount on their stuff. Great addition to Detox, doing castor oil packs. If you have a lot of issues with your liver or gallbladder, it can also be a great assistance to helping kind of clear sludge out there. What do we think of skin brushing and hot cold showers? Love it. Also great addition to detoxing. The dry brushing really going to help with your lymphatic system. The hot and cold showers can really help calm your nervous system if you're stuck in this fight or flight. And then structured water, hydrogen water, love those too. In my mind, most important thing though is that the quality of the water, the filtration, that it's toxin-free water is the most important thing. Someone asked about coffee for coffee enemas. You want to use a special coffee enema coffee. You don't want to get Starbucks coffee for coffee enema, or even like an organic coffee from the grocery store. No, you want a coffee enema specific coffee, which is very pure. They test it for all the toxins. It's organic, all the things. We have, there's some great ones on Amazon. I don't think we have the links on the spreadsheet I'm thinking of, Tara, but there's some great ones on Amazon. Just search for Life Boost, I think is one, if I remember correctly. I'm trying to think of the names. And Aussie, the other one, it's something Aussie. I can't remember. I'll try to remember. But yeah, you want specific coffee enema coffees for your coffee enemas. Great questions. What do you think of distilled water? We do not recommend drinking distilled water. Everything has been removed from the distilled water, including your essential minerals. So you don't want to drink nothing but distilled water.
Right.
We recommend the filtration. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, you're absolutely right with that. And I will add to it that for a short period of time, you could do that, but it is going to pull minerals out of your body, and you do not want to do that long term. So if you're specifically doing it for a specific reason, or you go camping and then you have to stop for water and that's the only water they have, it's not going to make you sick to drink distilled. I'd rather you drink distilled water than spring water, if it's just for a couple, for a few days, but you don't want to do that long term ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think we got them all. Okay. What brand of red light do you use, Dr. V? Someone just got that one in there.
I was pulling that up. So I use, and I'm putting the link in here for you, and I don't have a deal with them yet. I like to get discounts for you guys. And I don't have one yet. I haven't had a chance to get on a call with them, but this is the one I've been using, Therasage, and that's their logo. So when you type it and you go online, just look for that. But this is the one I'm using, and I really like this one. So last night I had it up here on my face, tightening my skin, And then I like to put it on my tummy. I'll do it for like 15 minutes on each area, 15 to 20 minutes. Then I'll put it on my tummy. Then I'll put it on my legs. I feel like it's even helping tighten the skin on my legs. So it's helping me with cellulite. And, women, some of us have that issue. And, I do. It's really hard. It's really hard to accept that. It's really hard to accept that. I don't like that at all. And I feel like it's actually making a big difference. The power plate, that's great. We like the power plate. And I've interviewed the lady who designed that. I think the power plate is great. It's definitely going to give you some good vibratory stimulation, and it's good for your proprioception, and it's good to drain the lymphatic system. Like there's a lot of benefits to the vibration plates. The problem with spring water. So the EPA regulations for spring water, there really are none. Anne and I could start a spring water company, and we could pull water out of the tap and call it spring water. Or you could go to a town where they get their water from Barton Springs, like in Austin, and you can call that spring water because the municipal water is coming from the aquifer, whatever the aquifer is underneath Barton Springs. And so we can call that spring water. There's no regulation for that. So you don't really know how clean the water is. It can be contaminated, and, there's no regulation for that. And that's why I am against spring water, and I want to do purified water. Yeah.
Gladys is asking, when she moves out of a place that has mold, does she have to throw out her red light tent and her air purifier and then get new ones? And so, Gladys, that's a great question. The thing with mold is that when you are in a moldy environment, when you have a lot of mold in your home and then you move, those mold spores can be in anything porous. So anything that's cloth, anything that's fabric, you can take the mold with you. And I've had clients who accidentally took the mold with them in a couch or in their mattress, not knowing they were taking the mold with them. So, will it be stuck in those things? I don't know, but there's a possibility. So you want to be really careful with anything that's a porous surface when moving from a moldy environment to a clean environment. Better safe than sorry is always my advice.
And just do as good of a cleaning as you can on your stuff. And, to Anne's point, like if you've got something that's made out of material, you might consider maybe changing that out for something else. But if you have things that you can really do a good wipe down on, then that might be worth it to go ahead and do that. So that's a hard one, right?
It is.
Gosh. Anything else? PEMF devices for pain relief. They're wonderful. Definitely. PEMF is awesome. Light therapy and sound therapy are definitely a big part of the future of medicine. Light therapy and sound therapy. And color therapy too. This is just really, really, really big part of the future of medicine and can really, really make a very big difference. And you still want to also discover what's causing the pain. So the PEMF may help give you pain relief, but you really want to figure out where it's coming from. Because a lot of times, I'm going to tell you probably 9 out of 10 times, the pain is being massively exacerbated by the toxins in your body that are causing an inflammatory cascade. And as you start getting the toxins out of your body, these the severe body pain that our clients have been living with for years, it goes down from an 8 down to a 2. With some of them, it goes completely away. But with pretty much everybody, their pain levels go down just from changing the foods, just from getting the toxins out of the body. So anyways, thank you everybody for joining us. I'm so happy that you came and hung out with us for the inner circle. Let me tell you a little bit about what's coming up for the next inner circles. We're going to be doing some interviews with some of our colleagues and people who have amazing stories, people who maybe have amazing stories behind their products that they've developed. And we want to share that with you. We want to share that with the world. So some of the topics will be changing. And so, and it's going to be wonderful and it's going to be fun and we're going to have candid discussions. And so, keep registering for the inner circles. Like I said, the topics may be changing, but they're still going to be just as awesome and just as amazing. And then lastly, don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. We have so many resources there. And don't forget to check out our website. So many resources, hundreds of testimonials that will inspire the heck out of you, right? Because if they can do it, so can you, right? We have case studies that we're building out. We're starting to transfer a lot of our case studies there. I think right now we only have a few, and then we have some on the YouTube, but they're not all condensed and compiled together yet. We have a lot of articles. We have our Crusaders for Health newsletter archive that we have in there we have beautiful articles that get contributed by our team every single month. And they're just writing from their heart and teaching you things that they want to share with you that are relevant in this time in our lives. And then I usually write an article as well. And then if there's anything coming up, like a really great masterclass or a great summit, or something else really awesome, maybe something like the air doctors, they're giving us an extra discount for our clients or our followers or whatever, then we'll have a little shopping section down at the bottom that you can go and you can see some of our recommended products. So be sure and check out our website, check out our YouTube page, join our Crusaders for Health Facebook page if you want, and say hi there, and we will see you soon. Thank you again for joining us. We love you so much.